1973 year. The deserts of Saudi Arabia. A secret meeting. Two men sitting face to face. One is Henry Kissinger, America's Secretary of State, the most powerful diplomat. The other, King Faisal, the King of Saudi Arabia, owner of the world's largest oil reserves. A handshake, an agreement, just a few words. But that agreement changed the world's economy forever. The deal was simple. Saudi Arabia will sell oil only in dollars. In return, America will give Saudi military protection. And this one agreement has kept America as a superpower to this day. And anyone who has challenged this system, their fate has been terrible. Today, we will enter the world of this petrodollar system, the secret deal that controls the entire world, and whose impact is affecting your pocket and mine as well. Petrodollar. The word sounds technical, but if you understand it, you'll understand how the entire world works. Do you know why the dollar is so powerful? Why every country keeps dollar reserves? Why does the price of everything increase when oil prices rise? The answer is one, the petrodollar system. This system is such that to buy oil anywhere in the world, you first have to buy dollars. Meaning, every country is dependent on the dollar. And this dependency itself gives America unlimited power. But how did this start? Why did Saudi Arabia agree to sell oil only in dollars? And those who wanted to exit this system, what happened to them? Saddam Hussein, the Iraq War. Muammar Gaddafi, Libya destroyed. Coincidence or pattern? And now, China and Russia are challenging this system. They're saying, we won't buy oil in dollars anymore. We use our own currencies. If the petrodollar system collapses, will America remain a superpower? And will the impact of that war also affect Bangladesh? Today's documentary will open your eyes. You'll understand how oil and the dollar together control the entire world. The story begins in 1973, but we need to go back a little. 1971 year, the President Richard Nixon made a shocking announcement. America will no longer follow the gold standard. What does this mean? Before this, you could get 1 ounce of gold in exchange for $35. The dollar's value was tied to gold, but Nixon broke that link. From now on, the dollar would be just paper, no physical backing. The entire world was shocked. The dollar's value started declining. Inflation increased. Oil-producing countries became angry. They said, we're giving oil, and you're giving us worthless paper? And then, October 1973, the Yom Kippur War, war between Arab countries and Israel. America supported Israel. Weapons, money, intelligence, gave everything. Arab countries were furious, and they had a powerful weapon in their hands. Oil. OPEC, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, made a decision. Oil embargo, meaning they stopped oil supply to Western countries. Overnight, oil prices quadrupled, from $3 to $12 per barrel. Chaos in America. Long lines at gas stations. People standing for hours waiting for fuel. Some places had no gas at all. The economy went into recession. Inflation skyrocketed. The stock market crashed. America realized their biggest weakness was energy dependency. If Arab countries controlled oil supply, then America's power would end. So, Henry Kissinger was sent to make a deal that would secure America's dominance forever. 5 to 7/30, 1974 year, Kissinger arrived in Saudi Arabia. Secret mission. Why Saudi? Because Saudi was OPEC's most influential member. They had the world's largest oil reserves. If Saudi could be convinced, the rest would follow. Meeting with King Faisal. Non discussion. Kissinger presented a proposal. The deal was like this. Point 1. Saudi Arabia will sell all its oil only in US dollars, not in any other currency. Point 2. Saudi Arabia will persuade other OPEC members to do the same. Point 3. Saudi Arabia will use the dollars it receives from oil sales to buy US Treasury bonds, meaning invest that money back in America. What would America give in return? Promise 1. Military protection for the Saudi royal family. American army, weapons, defense systems, everything. Promise 2. Political support for the Saudi regime. Protection from any threat, internal or external. Promise 3. Unlimited weapons sales. Latest American military technology. Promise 4. Economic development assistance. King Faisal thought about it. An opportunity to consolidate his own position. America's protection meant no one could overthrow him. And he agreed. In June 1974, the agreement was made. But it wasn't made public. Secret deal. The world wasn't informed. And this is how the petrodollar system was born. We need to understand the powers the petrodollar system gives America. Power 1. Printing money without inflation. If a normal country prints unlimited money, there will be inflation. The currency's value will decrease. But America? They're printing trillions and trillions of dollars. But why isn't there inflation? Because the entire world is using dollars. Every country needs dollar reserves to buy oil. For trade, meaning no matter how many dollars America prints, the entire world absorbs those dollars. This is the exorbitant privilege. No other country has this power. Power 2. Sanctions weapon. If America blocks a country from the SWIFT payment system, that country can't conduct international trade. Example, Iran. America has sanctioned Iran. Iran can't sell oil. Russia? Same situation. After the 2022 Ukraine war, Russia was partially blocked from SWIFT. The power of these sanctions comes from the petrodollar system. Power 3. Trade deficit doesn't matter. America has a huge trade deficit, meaning they import more than they export. $800 billion annual deficit. For a normal country, this is a disaster. But America? They simply print dollars and pay that deficit because the entire world accepts dollars. And those dollars go to oil-producing countries. They buy U.S. Treasury bonds again, meaning the money flows back. Let me explain with an example. Bangladesh wants to buy oil, but we have taka, not dollars. So what do? We export garments. Un dollar. Buy oil with those dollars. Meaning, using our labor, our resources, we're earning dollars. Then buying oil with those dollars. But America? They simply print dollars. Without creating any real value, they can buy oil. This is petrodollar power. Now I come to the most terrifying part. What happened to countries that challenged the petrodollar system? Case 1. Iraq. Saddam Hussein, year 2000. Saddam Hussein made a decision. Iraq will sell oil in euros, not in dollars. Why? Because Saddam believed the dollar was the currency of the enemy. America had imposed sanctions on Iraq, so he wanted to retaliate. There was a Yuan oil for food program, through which Iraq could sell oil to buy humanitarian items. Saddam said, "From now on, I'll accept payment in euros." And some European countries agreed. France, Germany thought, an opportunity to strengthen the euro. But for America, this was an existential threat. If Iraq started selling oil in euros, others might follow. The beginning of the end of the petrodollar system. 2003 year. America invaded Iraq. Official reason? Weapons of mass destruction, or WMD. Saddam was supposedly building nuclear weapons, but it was later proven there were no WMDs. A false pretext. So what was the real reason? Many analysts say, protecting the petrodollar. After the Iraq War, Saddam regime changed. New government. And the first decision? Started selling oil in dollars again. Euro stopped. Coincidence? Case 2. Libya. Muammar Gaddafi. 2009 year. Gaddafi came up with an ambitious plan. Gold dinar. His idea was African countries would create a new currency, gold-backed currency, and sell oil in that currency. Libya had 144 tons of gold reserves. Gaddafi wanted to launch the gold dinar with that gold. He started convincing other African leaders. Some countries were interested. If this had succeeded, African oil would have been sold in gold dinar instead of dollars. A huge blow to the petrodollar system. 2011 year. Arab Spring. Protests started in Libya. America and NATO intervened militarily. Humanitarian mission, saying Gaddafi is killing his own people. But how humanitarian was it? Libya was bombed. Gaddafi was captured and brutally killed. The entire country fell into chaos. Libya still hasn't recovered. And the gold dinar plan? Completely dead. Iran has been trying to bypass the petrodollar since the 2000s. They sell oil for euros, yuan, even gold. America's response? Cushing sanction. Case 4. Venezuela is one of the world's richest countries in terms of oil reserves. They launched a petro-cryptocurrency, Petro, an oil-backed digital currency. America's response? Sanctions. Regime change attempts. Venezuela's economy collapsed. Look at the pattern. Iraq sold oil in euros, invaded. Saddam killed Libya. Gold dinar plan bombed. Gaddafi killed Iran. Dollar bypass sanctions. Economic crisis, Venezuela. Petro cryptocurrency sanctions. Collapse coincidence? Or a strategy to protect the petrodollar? Is this a conspiracy theory? Maybe, but the pattern is undeniable. Whichever country tried to exit the petrodollar, either war happened to them or crushing sanctions. Message clear. Challenge the petrodollar, face the consequences. But now, two countries have emerged who are as powerful as America, and they're openly challenging the petrodollar, China and Russia. And these two countries can't be attacked like Iraq or Libya, because they're nuclear powers. War with them means World War III. Russia's move. 2022 year, the Ukraine war began. America and Europe sanctioned Russia. Partial block from SWIFT. Putin's countermove? He announced, if unfriendly countries want to buy Russian gas, they'll have to pay in rubles, not dollars or euros. This was historic. For the first time, a major energy exporter was saying, we'll accept payment in our own currency. Europe initially refused, but eventually, many European countries were forced to buy rubles to purchase Russian gas. Why? Because they needed gas for heating in winter. In this way, Putin partially bypassed the petrodollar, actually the petro-euro, China's petro-yuan. China is even more strategic. Since 2018, China has started oil futures trading in yuan on the Shanghai Oil Exchange. And gradually, some countries are selling oil to China in yuan. The biggest shock, Saudi Arabia 2022 year Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, MBS, visited China. Xi Jinping gave him a grand reception. Red carpet, state honors, and discussions were held. Saudi Arabia would sell oil to China in yuan. This was bombshell news, because Saudi, who are the foundation of the petrodollar system, are now considering yuan. Why is Saudi doing this? Reason 1. China is Saudi's biggest oil customer. 2 million barrels of oil go to China daily. 25% of Saudi's total exports. Reason 2. Saudi-America relations are deteriorating. The Biden administration is criticizing Saudi on human rights. Reason 3. Saudi wants to diversify itself, not remain dependent only on America. Now, a hypothetical scenario, if the petrodollar system collapses, what will happen? Impact 1. Dollar value collapse if oil is not traded in dollars. Global demand for dollars will decrease. Currently, countries hold dollar reserves because they need dollars to buy oil, to trade. But if oil is available in alternative currencies, why hold dollars? Central banks will start selling their dollar reserves. Dollars will flood the market. Basic economics. If supply increases and demand stays the same, price will fall. The dollar's value will crash. Impact 2. U.S. inflation crisis. The dollars America has been printing all this time. The whole world is absorbing them. But if no one wants dollars anymore, those dollars will return to America. Too many dollars chasing too few goods. Result? Hyperinflation. Prices will skyrocket. The American public won't be able to afford basic necessities. An inflation scenario like Weimar Germany, 1920s, or Zimbabwe, 2000s. Impact 3. U.S. debt crisis. America's national debt is $34 trillion, the highest in the world. There's been no problem so far because other countries are buying U.S. Treasury bonds because they need dollar reserves. But if dollar demand decreases, who will buy U.S. debt? Interest rates will have to be raised to attract buyers, but that will further increase debt servicing costs. A vicious cycle. Debt crisis. Impact 4. Military power reduction. An $800 billion military budget can't be financed. Military bases will have to close. Troop reduction. Equipment maintenance will have to be cut. America won't be able to remain the global policeman. Impact 5. Geopolitical shift. If dollar dominance ends, there will be a multipolar world. China, Russia, India, they'll create their own spheres of influence. The way America currently controls others through sanctions, they won't be able to do that anymore. New world order, where there will be multiple powers, not a single superpower. But will this really happen? The petrodollar won't end so easily. America's military is still the world's most powerful. They'll do whatever is necessary to protect the petrodollar. Saudi Arabia won't completely switch to Yuan because their security depends on America. Europe, Japan, South Korea, they're American allies. They'll support the dollar system. But gradual diversification is happening. Pure petrodollar dominance is declining, moving toward a mixed currency system. This is a gradual transition, not an overnight collapse. But the direction is clear. Dollar dominance is no longer as absolute as before. Now let me come to how all this affects Bangladesh. We think these are matters between America, Saudi, China. What's it to us? But in reality, its impact is on our everyday lives. Impact 1. Oil price, and Bangladesh is a net oil importer. We import approximately $5 to $6 billion worth of oil every year. And to buy that oil, we need dollars. Where do we get dollars from? Remittance, garments exports, foreign investment. When oil prices rise, we have to pay more dollars. Foreign reserves decrease. We saw this in 2022. After the Russia-Ukraine war, oil prices increased. Bangladesh's foreign reserves started declining rapidly. Impact 2. Dollar reserve dependency. Bangladesh Bank has to keep dollar reserves to buy oil. For import payments, if dollar value fluctuates, the value of our reserves also changes. And to earn those dollars, we have to give garments workers labor. Impact 3. If petrodollar system changes, if oil becomes available in Yuan or other currencies, then Bangladesh can trade directly with China in Yuan. We'll export garments in Yuan, buy oil with that Yuan. This could be a benefit for Bangladesh because China is our biggest trade partner. But there are risks too. If America thinks Bangladesh is moving away from their petrodollar system, they could apply economic pressure. Lessons for Bangladesh. Lesson 1. Diversify. Instead of depending only on dollars, keep options to trade in Yuan, Euro, Rupee as well. Lesson 2. Energy independence. Invest in renewable energy. Reduce oil dependency. Lesson 3. Balance. Instead of taking one side in the America-China rivalry, maintain a balanced foreign policy. Lesson 4. Regional cooperation. Trade with India, Nepal, Bhutan, Sri Lanka in regional currencies. So this was the story of the petrodollar. The handshake that happened in 1973 changed the entire world. A simple idea, oil will be sold only in dollars. But this simple idea gave America unmatched power, made the dollar the global currency, and anyone who challenged this system faced war or sanctions. But now, change is coming. China and Russia, they're challenging the petrodollar. And they can't be attacked like Iraq or Libya. Saudi Arabia, who are the foundation of this system, are now also looking for options. Yuan, alternative currencies. Will the petrodollar end completely? Probably not. At least not in the next 10 to 20 years. But its monopoly, that's definitely declining. In the future, perhaps, oil will be traded in multiple currencies. Dollar, Yuan, Euro, Rupee altogether. What's the lesson from this story? First, the world economy is not neutral. It's a power game. Second, energy security is national security. Third, dollar dominance is not an economic fundamental. It's a geopolitical arrangement. Fourth, for small countries, balancing is essential. And fifth, the fuel we fill at the petrol pump, that fuel's price, is not just about supply and demand. It's geopolitics. A desert meeting in 1973 is still affecting your pocket and mine in 2026. The question is, are we ready for this change?